Okay, so I get this question a lot. So I talked about the RepFiles mobile app, but is RepFiles available on PCs? So when RepFiles first got started, we started with the mobile app, but a lot of inside sales teams came to us and said, we could really use this, but we're just not using it this much. We sit behind a desk every day. So RepFiles did come out with the RepFiles NAED Edition for the PC. And then the NAED edition is currently under development. Just this past week, I heard that it should be ready by the end of September. So it's coming pretty soon. Just to give you kind of a snapshot of what that would look like. So a user would log into our website and they would access RepFiles PC. The screen right here is going to look pretty similar to what you would see inside the app. If they would click on Add New, the button down there, oh, you could see my mouse, good. You could see manufacturers' plugins, and at this screen they can request access same way as you would inside the app. One thing that works a little bit differently though is when you download files from inside a plugin, they're actually going to download to your computer. So what a lot of sales reps who are using the NAED Edition app right now, they will download files to their desktop, or they will download them directly to a folder on their company network drive. So this way one person logs into RepFiles, does a sync, and all the files are downloaded to the network drive. Their entire company can access those files. So there's a couple of different ways to do that. So you can kind of see right there, there's some files that were inside the Adventure plugin that I created the screen a while back, so there's a lot more files in there now. But basically, once I downloaded those files, they appeared on my desktop inside an Adventure folder. So I just click inside that folder and I'd have access to the files. So that's how RepFiles PC will work. Okay, so now we're going to switch over and do a little bit demo, so kind of show you the app a little bit more. So I have my iPad here in front of you, or in front of me. Okay, so the first step if you would want to get started is you would go to the App Store and search for RepFiles. So we do have an app available on iOS devices, Android devices, and Windows devices. Windows, I think it's going to be pretty big, especially with Windows 10. So this laptop right here runs Windows, it did run Windows 8, so I had access to the Windows Store, so I could download apps directly onto my laptop. I also just got a Surface 3. Oh, it's awesome. It's so awesome. Love it. But same thing, you're able to utilize apps that you did on your mobile device right on your laptop, as well as it functions just like a normal PC would. So cool stuff. So anyways, you'd search for RepFiles. You could see the apps that we mentioned there. I already downloaded the RepFiles NAED Edition app, but you would just hit that button to download. I'm going to open it up, and the first screen you see here is a sign in or register screen. So if you currently do not have a RepFiles account, you would click on the link to register, fill out kind of that information right there, first name, last name, give yourself a password, company email address, company name. You do not need to worry about a tap code. That's the one down there at the bottom, unless the manufacturer or your own company supplies you with one. So I already registered. I'm going to go ahead and log in with a demo account here. Another thing too, we get a question a lot. So I have RepFiles on my smartphone, but I want it on my iPad. You do not need to re-register again. So you would download the app there and just sign in at that point. That's not it. Okay, so now I'm signed in. So this could be one scenario that would happen. So what happened in this scenario is I signed in, and my own account has been auto-authorized to access Springfield Electric's salesperson access plugin right there, okay? Because Pam has authorized my account automatically to have access to it. Most of you, if you sign into the app, what you will see is that About plugin right there. So I see that salesperson access plugin. I want to install it, check out what's inside of it. I'm going to select it. It's going to give me two options here. So at this point, if I hit sync plugin, it will literally download all the files to my device. I know that sounds like a lot, but actually sales reps love this. I see them use this all the time because they want all those files downloaded so they completely disconnect and be able to access them anytime, anywhere. So what a lot of people do is they'll hit sync plugin maybe for like their iPad that has more storage space, but for their phone, they'll go in online only to kind of keep those files stored up in the cloud. So I'll kind of give examples of both so it makes a little bit more sense as we go forward. So for this one, I'm going to go online only. So what happens there is I immediately enter the plugin, and all the files that you see here are stored up in the cloud. So let's go into that flyers folder. I want to take a look at crib management flyer. So I'm going to select it. It's going to download, and then it's going to pop up right on my device right here. So now if I'm a salesperson, I can read this flyer, I can show it to a customer. I can open it up on another app that I have installed in my device. So there's some good PDF editing apps out there. So I could send it to that app, maybe circle the product information and then send that PDF to a customer. Or not, I could just keep it inside the RepFiles app and view it from there. So I'm going to go back. The other thing you could do too, I'm going to move up a folder. Okay, I could decide I'm going to a customer meeting. I want to download that entire flyers folder so I can access all those files right away. I just long press on a folder to select it and then hit download. So you could see those downloads are starting. Once they're done, it lets me know. So now I can go inside of that folder and see right there at the bottom, it might be hard to see, but it says online. I can go completely offline, and I can still be able to access those files and pull them up right away. I'm going to go back online here. Okay, so now maybe I'm done with my sales meeting, and I decide I don't want those files stored on my device anymore. I can just select that flyers folder and hit delete. Now I know that's a scary word, right? Delete. But what that is actually doing is just removing those files from being stored on my device. So if I go back into the flyers folder now, the PDFs are no longer on my device, they're back up into the cloud. Okay? As the end user, an end user cannot delete any of the files that a manufacturer or your own company is delivering. It's completely accessing and bringing them down. So that end user can't edit them in a way that it would affect what other user is seeing. All right, so I'm going to close out of here. So I'm good to go with that salesperson access plugin. I'm going to go to this add new screen because I want to see what manufacturers are out there using RepFiles. All right, I'm going to look for Siemens marketing material. I want access to their plugin. So I'm going to hit that one. Now it has a red lock for me because at this point my account has not been authorized to access this plugin. So all I need to do is hit request access, and then David over there is going to get an email in a moment saying that RepFiles demo account has requested access to this plugin. He can either allow or deny me access at this point. I actually love the process that Pam takes because usually we include the contact information in here. So Pam will actually say, hey David, can you authorize my whole company to access the plugin so that each person doesn't have to go in there and request access. All right, so the other plugin I want to show you, we've been talking about that NAED Adventure Conference plugin. So you could see that one right there does not have a red lock. So that means any single person can install it. If you ever do see another plugin, GE Lighting as an example, they allow anyone that they want to, or anyone who wants to access the files inside their plugin. You can install it on this page right away. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the NAED Adventure Conference plugin. Yes, I want to install it. And this time I'm going to give you an example of the sync plugin. All right, so I hit sync plugin. So you could see those files are now downloading to my device. So this process could take a while, right? Because if a manufacturer is delivering hundreds of files, depending on how many files, the size of them, your internet connection, usually we always tell our people just let that run, go grab some coffee, a beer if it's later in the day or earlier, depending on your preference, then come back, and then everything will be up to date and available kind of at anytime, anywhere, online, offline type of thing. But you could see for the most part that runs pretty quickly. We try to tell our manufacturers, we give them recommendations on file sizes, file types, just so that they keep in mind that their users are on a mobile device and they don't need that high definition video to go on my small iPad screen. So once the sync is done, it gives me a report. I can hit done. Oh, thank you, David. You authorized my account to access the Siemens Marketing Material plugin. Very cool. So I'm going to go inside this plugin right here, and you could see, boom, I have all the files downloaded to my device. Again, so I can go offline and still be able to access all the files inside the folders. All right, another thing I want to show you. So I synced the plugin, but you know what? Later on, I decided that you could do this with any file, any folder, but I'm going to say this attendee list, for example. I don't want it downloaded to my device. I just want to keep it stored up in the cloud. I'm going to do what we call toggle exclude from sync. So I just selected that file, go to the menu, and I hit toggle exclude from sync. Okay, now when I hit sync now, if that conference plugin, if whoever's managing that uploaded files to it, it would bring down any updated files, bring down any changes that were made, but that attendee list will not be re-downloaded, right? It'll stay up in the cloud. So kind of what a lot of people like doing is using that for videos. They'll kind of pick out the videos they want to use, but because those files are so large, they'll do the toggle exclude from sync on a lot of the videos just to keep them stored up in the cloud, but allow them to hit that sync all to bring down everything else. So this is just an option for you based on who you are as a user, what device you're using in the storage space, stuff like that. Siemens Marketing Material, I'm going to go ahead and install that. We'll do it online only. Again, boom, I'm into the different folders. I could access any of the files that I want to. Will do. So I'm going to go inside this About plugin. I did take out the NAD video from the Adventure Conference plugin just to make it a little bit quicker to see. Woo. All right, so this video is a little bit larger, so it might take a little bit to download. Okay, so while that's downloading, I'm going to go back over to kind of show you the back end of it. So show you how a manufacturer or distributor would actually manage the files being delivered through RepFiles. So to do that, I'm going to end this presentation. And I'm going to, I mentioned before the RepFiles browser. So this is where all the files are managed. So this gives you access to your own storage location. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up. All right, so what I've given myself access to is NAED's storage location. So right now, what you guys are accessing inside RepFiles is anything inside this Adventure folder. So that plugin targets this folder. I'm going to go inside of it right here. So the same content that you see here, you'll see on your device. We're going to have some fun, and let's name a folder cartoons. If you missed that, I just hit that new folder button. Create a new folder. There's some cartoons. I'm going to go inside that folder. And okay, these cartoons are saved here on my desktop. The screen's a little small. Here we go. I'm going to drag them and drop them in. So you could kind of see the uploading time at the bottom to kind of know that that file has been uploaded. So we got 2. And then 1 more. So I'm not going to open these up and show them. You have to go inside RepFiles if you want a good laugh. Okay, so that is how files are managed. So let's go ahead and bounce over to my iPad to kind of show you what that looks like. All right, so first, let's look at our video. It's downloaded to my device, so if I want to play a video, you could see that pop open and played right away. There is sound, I just muted my iPad. So I'm going to go back, and then let's check out that Adventure Conference plugin. So you can see I'm inside here. I could see that cartoons folder, and there are the 3 images that I just uploaded. So if you think about that from you're managing your own content, you have that new product information or promotion, it's drag it, drop it into the system. If you're a manufacturer, hundreds and hundreds of your distributors could have that instant access to that new product information. Another cool thing I like to point out on our home screen too, this kind of makes RepFiles a little bit different than other file delivery systems, is this sync all button at the bottom. To me, that's huge. So as a user, I can open up my app, hit sync all. It's going to cross-check every single file that I have downloaded and make sure it's the most up-to-date file. So right now it's downloading those cartoons. So if a manufacturer from 3 different companies updated those files, after the sync is done, I know I'm going to have the most up-to-date file. So you see now it's checking Siemens marketing material. So you can see there's the cartoons that were downloaded. The other thing that I'll point out, or the last thing I'll point out, is this help option. So if you hit help, all it does is populate an email to our support team, but that's what I wanted to let you guys know, that if your users do have questions, it's not like the person managing this or the manufacturer has to manage all those customer support questions. They can just send them to RepFiles, so support@repfiles.net, and we can give them that one-on-one attention if they need it.